I've also got myself like a screen zen. It puts a little like filter on the apps that you select, so you can put it on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, so that when you click on the icon, it pops up with like a 10-second wait. It's a delay, and it asks you, is this important? And in that moment when it does it, I think, nope. It's a dead center.
That was a big sigh.
Yeah.
Welcome back to It's a Death Sentence. I'm Carrie Smith.
And I'm Emma Skip, I think.
Just about.
Yeah.
You're not an imposter.
No.
We're not that lucky.
No, I advertised and no one was interested. So, yeah.
So it is you.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about social media.
Yes. Interesting.
Death by social media. Now, I know that we tend to laugh at things. Some of this is not funny.
It really isn't. I mean,
I fucking hate social media.
I fucking hate social media too. And do you know what? This is probably going to be the short that we use on social media, and I bet it'll be one that performs really well.
I'm not saying how much we hate it.
How much we fucking hate it. Can we get a like for anyone else that fucking hates it?
No, it's just like
it's
fueled by
destroying,
sort of making you feel inadequate.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not my, and that's why I hate being on camera.
I'm currently listening to the audio book that you suggested to me, How to Break Up With Your Phone. Now, because we do this podcast, I spend a gross amount of time doing social media because I want us to be successful. And thank you to our TikTok followers who are really, really doing that for us at the moment, and our YouTube. But we struggle, don't we, with Instagram. Facebook's okay on the groups and stuff like that, but it's so time consuming. And considering that we're doing a podcast, it's not something that, either of us went, oh, do you know what I really want to do with, 2 hours of my day every day? I'd love
Absolutely
to do
not.
vacuous social media.
And that's why I don't do it.
Yeah. Well, I know, right? So also what I could bring to the equation, and even then I still have to Google how to do things. But I think, let's not be completely scathing, because obviously
it does have its place.
Our TikTok following and our YouTube following, we know that they're converting over to being podcast listeners. So that brings me great joy. But the premise of creating content to be liked, to have somebody go, I like that, it's almost just setting yourself up to be continually sort of hurt.
Yeah. Do you like things though? Because we had this conversation.
Yeah, it was a really interesting one.
Because I watch a lot of things and I don't necessarily interact with them.
I have started to do so because, everything I've read about how we become successful on social media because we're trying to drive listeners and stuff is all about, interaction and likes and views. But, we've questioned each other about our own social media. Do I like things? Rarely. Can't be bothered. Do I leave comments? Also rarely. But I have started to do so with the premise or the idea that if I want people to do the same, I've got to be part of it. Pay it forward. But it does beg the question of who. We're all using social media, right? Lots of different age groups are using social media, but we use it in different ways and we use it to access different things. So perhaps it's not our demographic that do the liking of things. Perhaps.
No, and I think for me, it's definitely age. Do I post on social media? Rarely. About my own life, not very often at all, maybe a special occasion. I feel like my phone controls me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because everything is on it, my diary, all my contacts. I hate getting home from work and sitting and scrolling on my phone.
Yeah.
So I generally have my phone on silent. I'm not very good at replying to messages because I try to disengage with my phone once I get home from work.
I think you do a very good job of that, Karen.
Because I ignore you all the time.
Well, I think...
And also I can't concentrate. I can't spend time with my child, talk to him or talk to my family or watch a programme and scroll. And some people can. I can't.
The thing is that nobody can really multitask, can they? Like, it's a myth. People can't. You basically just do more things ineffectively.
Half-heartedly.
Ineffectively, yeah. So I think, you know, I worry a lot about social media with having 2 young children and what the world is going to look like for them through the lens of being judged on social media. And I've come to realise recently that my children see me on my phone all of the time because I'm working. And now, in the last few weeks, becoming more aware of my consumption of it, I am hiding so that they can't see me on it.
Yeah.
And really what I want to do is schedule everything in one go, which is more time consuming than you think. I've also got myself a screen zen. I can't remember what the name of the app is. I think it might be called that. So it puts a little like filter on the apps that you select. So you can put it on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, so that when you click on the icon, it pops up with like a 10-second wait. It's a delay. And it asks you, is this important? And in that moment, when it does it, I think, nope. And that's, you know,
that's interesting. I've
really
not heard of that.
I did it last year as well as a kind of attempt at a digital detox. Obviously, I run the band as well. So I'm doing our social media for the podcast and I'm doing the social media for the band. And so it's a lot. And I said to you today, didn't I? I've been waking up at 3 a.m. with images in my head because I'm online doing this shit so much. And that is horrifying. It cannot be healthy at all. So if that's happening to me through what I would say is a moderate use of social media, might be more than moderate, how are young people experiencing it?
Yeah, and you know, it is easy to become obsessed with it. And it's very current at the minute, isn't it? You know, Instagram, Meta, it's in the papers because of putting our younger people at risk. And I know that...
This is the nitty-gritty
yeah,
of this episode.
I know that death by social media is actually a real term that they use.
God.
And it refers to the fatalities among young children and teens who often take their own lives, often down to severe cyberbullying. So, I mean, as much as we hate social media for the pressure it makes us feel, imagine how they must feel.
I can't begin to wrap my head around that type of bullying. I think it you know, I feel very glad that it didn't happen when we were young. You know, if you got bullied when I was at school, they just generally smacked you. It was, you know,
Or hid your shoes.
verbal, hid your shoes, yeah. It could go on for months, it could be really quite nasty. But it was in a physical domain, so you kind of knew where you stood with it. This is something that is just alien to us, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it is the same premise as we want to be liked. Please like all my stuff. And oh no, we've got a comment that says it's shit. Oh no, that means everything's shit.
Somebody says I've got a big nose, or somebody says I've got this, and I don't look the same.
But imagine that, like through like almost magnified. If you've grown up into a generation of people that social media is the most used method of communication.
Yeah.
More so than even speaking to each other.
It's very difficult. And also, you know, some social media they are responsible for dangerous challenges and trends, like the blackout challenge. Have you heard of that?
No.
That caused multiple deaths. People like causing themselves to black out. It was like a challenge.
Through what? Through lack of oxygen?
Like, yeah, I think so. I don't really know the full ins and outs of it. Something called chroming. You heard of that?
No.
It's like inhaling toxic substances. That went viral.
But it's not new, but it is new to do it on viral,
But I think,
online.
I think it's when something goes viral and the trend goes viral.
To impressionable young minds.
Yeah, they're doing it for the likes.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing things for the likes. It's like you see people putting themselves at risk for pictures for social media.
Yeah.
Like, did you remember seeing, like last year, was it that woman who was trying to take a picture of herself with that fucking speeding train?
No.
And like got whipped under the train or something like that.
Dear God.
Putting themselves at risk just for the picture, people hanging off cliffs.
I mean, I feel like that's a little bit
madness.
of, you know, what is the term? Just weeding out the people who...
the Darwin theory. It's crazy. But social media does have a huge responsibility when it comes to mental health.
But it doesn't necessarily take it, does it?
Well, I think that's why it's so current now and that's why it's in the paper. How are they addressing it? How are they supporting our young people? How does social media affect you? I know because we post a lot of stuff about grief. My social media bombards me with
the
grief
algorithm,
quotes. Bombards me with
and
grief
it's interesting,
content.
isn't it? Because our content for our podcast is probably 50-50 in terms of somber, sad, emotive, compassionate, and funny or upbeat. But what it's not doing is recognising who we are. It's just going on like words like grief. So we get bombarded by
sad stuff.
Which is actually, I wouldn't necessarily go on scrolling for that.
No, and I think if you're in the wrong place when you're bombarded with those messages, then that's could really send you into a spiral. Yeah. And there was a case I was reading about where a child took her own life. I won't say her name, but leading up to her death, she was bombarded for 6 months with messages and memes and social media content pushed her way about sort of taking her own life, not being worthy.
How? I don't know if you know the answer to this, but how is that not being moderated by?
This is why it's in the media. Now, because that should have been flagged up.
This is where I probably, sit here and look very stupid, but I just don't understand how we live in a world that's so technologically brilliant, and yet there is so much dark, awful stuff available online. Why can't we be quicker and more effective at getting rid of that? I don't understand. I'm sure it wouldn't take a genius to sit here and explain it to us, but it seems beyond me.
Yeah, and their solution is to make the age limit higher for social media.
That's not the answer.
That's not the answer, because all you've got to do is put your date of birth in.
Well,
and you could lie.
I told you that.
Are you 18? Yeah.
The breaking up with your phone book, which I would thoroughly recommend to everybody, regardless of your age, if you've got a smartphone, really, really points towards how Meta, TikTok, all of them are, capturing our time. They're harvesting our time because that's how they make money, out of adverts and selling and all the rest of it. But the thing is, whenever you've got capitalism at that level, whenever you've got the greed and the machine that's going to keep making that level of money, like mega money, it will come first. It will come before people's safety.
Yeah.
And it will come before the risks.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And that's not new either.
It's like, have you seen a guy on social media who calls out people who write horrible comments?
No. I don't watch anything like that, but no.
He basically, there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, and they...
Keyboard warrior, it's almost the wrong term, isn't it? Because it suggests that they're brave.
Yeah. Okay, keyboard cowards, should we say.
Keyboard twat.
Yeah. They like to make comments on
well, we've had a few
videos. Yeah, we've had lots of horrible comments. Why? Why is that? I find that intriguing as to why people feel they need to say something. And that guy on social media, he basically finds out who they are.
Wow.
Stalks their profile and then outs them on his social media.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, say somebody says something about the way somebody looks, and then he'll be like, says Karen from such and such.
Yes.
Puts a picture of her up and she doesn't look much different.
Well, we've had something similar, which we won't name names, but we've had to remove a couple of comments. People who are on our social media, which is generally about grief, death and dying, however you look at that, even if we're, having an upbeat conversation, that's still the topic, are commenting on how somebody's hair looks.
Yeah.
And
Very silly.
You can't have... Do you know what I think, though? I think, oh, God, I genuinely feel sad for the people doing that, because obviously their lives are not fulfilled enough to... Could you imagine being bothered? I mean,
can't bother to do anything at
this
this
age.
age.
Fucking bothered to go on social media and look for something that I can be cruel about for its own sake. But then I'm not a bully, so it doesn't occur to me to behave like that. I can only assume that their life is shit.
Yeah.
And they get some kind of
kick out of it, probably.
Validation out of it. Yeah, it's got to be something psychological in that way, hasn't it?
And I think, for young people, if they post stuff and they're not getting the likes or
Yeah.
people are making cruel comments, because your content
it's
is out there.
devastating.
Your content's out there for everyone to see once it's online.
Forevermore.
Yeah, it can't be got rid of. And, and people are cruel for no reason.
Yeah.
Without realising the
Especially
impact
teenagers
they're
and young
having
people.
on people. So for that reason, I don't like social media. And I think when you are in grief and you're bombarded with sad grief quotes, bringing you back to those emotions. Yeah, sometimes you might see one and be like, that's exactly what I feel like. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And like it or something, or interact with it. But then to continually get that, I don't know how helpful that is.
No, it's the old phrase of it's too much of one thing, isn't it? It's
because if you stay in that period, that feeling of grief, that very horrible, sad, emotionally upsetting part of grief, if you stay in that continually and you're just bombarded with messages, and say you're sort of like removed yourself a little bit from your friends and you're staying at home because you think they're sick of hearing about it, even though you're feeling really sad. I like
how impactful that is.
Yeah. But again, online, I think there's so many good resources out there, like The New Normal. They're online. They've got a social media presence with like all the cruise, bereavement, all those charities online. You can access their things online. Fantastic services.
Yeah.
So some of it has its benefit.
It is. It's just very, very difficult.
It's a very thin line
because there is clearly a problem that clearly needs addressing. Because if young people are ending their own lives through social media, then that's a crisis. That isn't okay in any capacity. And yes, the people creating these platforms should be held accountable.
Absolutely.
100%. But we, as parents, also have a responsibility, don't we? And that is the grey area, because are you going to be the parent that says to my children, no, you're not having a Facebook account. You're not having an Instagram account. No, you're not having a Snapchat or whatever shit it will be by the time they have it.
I haven't even got Snapchat.
I don't even know what it is really, other than they take a picture and it disappears. Is that how it works?
Sounds dangerous to me.
That sounds dangerous. Yeah. We have a responsibility, don't we, as parents, to guard our children online or make them as safe as we can. But you can't watch their every move all of the time. And there will be a child somewhere in their life that will show them something grim. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm bringing this to the equation like I've got an answer. I don't have an answer. I've been thinking a lot about it since starting this book about, breaking up with your phone.
Yeah.
Because my children have got tablets they play games on. But it won't be long before they're asking me for, because they say things to me like on Roblox, for example, can they add friends? And I'm like, absolutely not. No. Like, I will not allow them to add anybody unless I'm sat with their parents and I know that whatever their name is.
Yeah, because it could be a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
You don't know, do you?
Yeah.
I have seen on TV, on Netflix, I mean, you probably get it anywhere, but there's something called the TikTok murders. Have you seen it? It's like a true crime thing where...
Again, this shows what's in your algorithms and not mine.
Where people have actually used social media to help solve crimes.
Yeah, I can see.
So people have been watching people on social media and being able to help solve crime.
Yeah.
So it does have some
in the book,
positive
in
impact.
the book, it was saying it's got more information about you on social media than any police file or any government file has on you. Police only if you've been in trouble, but we've got a birth certificate, a marriage certificate, and certain other events in your life that are recorded by government bodies. You're paying tax, all these kind of things. But apparently, social media will capture more information about you than any other platform. And your details are so valuable.
Yeah.
They're so valuable as a commodity.
And that's why there's so much fraud, I suppose, isn't there? Because people can just zoom in and find out all your bits and pieces.
Yeah, totally.
There is a podcast, an American podcast called Estranged and Deranged, and we've got an interview with them coming up shortly. But one of the things that makes me laugh about their podcast is they get quite a lot, because they're quite topical, what they talk about. They get quite a lot of hateful remarks and comments, and they start their show with like, the worst comment they've had, which they've got some little shorts which really make me laugh, which I thought were very funny.
Brilliant.
And it's a delicate subject is what they talk about, but it just goes to show that maybe with age, as we get older, we can deal with those comments better than maybe the younger ones.
Maybe we can. I don't know. I know that I personally feel personally offended and victimised, I think. And I know it's a strong word, but there have been comments that we've had the odd one where, we've had to report somebody before now, haven't we?
And that's why I don't read them.
Yeah, well, I mean...
So sorry if I don't respond, because I don't read them.
It's really hard, isn't it? Carrie and I have only today been discussing whether we schedule 3 months of social media ahead. And I said, well, and then we can just come away from it because we both feel that strongly about it. But then, if we want to have engagement, so if anybody starting a new business is in exactly the same boat, how do we then,
And because we want to talk to you guys.
Yeah, of course. But could you do it through email?
Please. So the other thing I want to talk about is actually people documenting their own death.
Oh, my word.
On social media.
You talked to me about this a couple of weeks ago, and naive Nancy here, she's like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few cases where people have streamed their own deaths live, Facebook Live or whatever.
And that's another thing I don't understand. So anything could happen on a live video, right? Anything.
Yeah,
including this.
Yeah.
So how is that not moderated in a better way?
I don't know. I don't know enough about social media to know. But I mean, the incidents range from like suicide to accidental and violent homicides. Even.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. I was looking at the
murder
research,
caught on a live
on
stream.
feeds on social media.
Wow.
I've got a couple of examples that I could talk to you about. So, in 2025, a French streamer died on the platform Kick. I've never heard of it. It must. I mean, I'm obviously not cool, but I don't know where that's from.
Darling, you are cool.
Thanks. During a 12-day, 24/7 stream. So they did a stream.
How long?
They did a live stream for 12 days in a row, 24/7.
Oh, God.
Where he was subject to physical and psychological abuse by co-streamers for donations. I mean, what the actual fuck?
But he must have done that willingly.
Yeah, he did it willingly.
Oh, gosh. Now, there's a question. Where lies the blame? Is that person... Are we assuming that person is mentally unstable to put themselves into that situation and therefore is a person at risk or vulnerable? And what if they're not? And they've just literally decided that that's a thing that they want to do? Or are we suggesting that anybody that wants to do that can't be?
But I do think that we need to take into consideration that capacity changes.
And
consent can change quickly. Yeah. It's just like agreeing to do something and then somebody doing something that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Oh, God,
you can remove that consent straight away.
So horrible.
And it's ensuring that everybody knows that when that consent's been removed, that everybody's on board and they don't just think it's part of the streaming drama of it, if you know what I mean. Because I'm assuming that there has to be some showmanship to these things.
But also, who the fuck is paying to watch this kind of shit? I know that awful, awful people exist in the world. I know. But it's just... Surely at some point, right, you're around a group of people that seem normal and then one of them goes, hey, do you want to watch this? It's just somebody being whipped or whatever, like whatever it is, causing physical pain to somebody else. Somebody in that, line of people that's introduced to it is going to go, no, and also should we report it?
Yeah.
But, what this suggests to me is, do people who are really horrifying and grim in that way only seek out and know other people who are just as horrifying and grim as they are?
Well, I'm assuming there'll be some sort of community around that, won't there? I mean, I could go on. I don't want to name names because it's not for me to do so, and I don't know the full stories of these people, and I wouldn't want to surmise something that wasn't true. But there are multiple people reported to have committed suicide whilst live streaming. Cases of perpetrators of massacre. I don't even know what that means. I've written it down. I don't even know what it means. Sounds like a film
that you would watch.
Yeah. Okay, so I've actually put in brackets here so I understood it. Live streaming of shooting of multiple people. So like mass fatalities.
Yeah.
are people doing horrible things to their people that they love. You know, it's just craziness. And I was going to ask you, would you let your child on social media? And we've already had that discussion.
The thing is, I haven't said I won't, because I know that when my now young, still relatively young children ask me in the next 2, 3, 4 years when they go to high school, whatever, they are going to ask me, and how am I going to deal with that? And I co-parent with my ex-husband, who will probably just go along with whatever I say, which will mean that I will be completely responsible for it.
Do you think it's down to the parent to make sure the child's ready before they, is that part of it? Would you know your child well enough to say,
I don't think
she'll know it's ready,
I don't
he'll know
think
it's
that
ready?
I would know how social media is used by an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
They're not even supposed to have an account before they're 13, but it obviously happens. Is that right, 13? Did I read that
I think it's
recently?
13, yeah.
And things like WhatsApp. I mean, I've got friends who's young teenagers are on WhatsApp groups within school.
Yeah.
And they've told me things that go on these WhatsApp groups, which are awful.
Yeah.
It's just another form of bullying. So, am I going to know how to navigate that with my kids? I don't know. Don't know what the answer is. Because if I say to them, no, they'll find a way to do it
anyway.
They're going to find... I remember my mum and dad were quite liberal with me when I said I want to go to a nightclub when I was underage, let's say. And my parents literally went, OK, write down the name and address and who you're going with. Because they knew I'd do it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's that
There's
same
an element of that, isn't there?
idea that if I don't let them, then they're going to find a way. And I'm also going to shine a light on why doesn't my mum want me to do that? I must really want to see it.
And then they'll hide things.
Inquisitive.
Yeah.
Would it be better that we were out in the open? I mean, I know some parents have access to their kids' accounts, don't they? But the kid will just go and make another
account.
profile, won't
Yeah. Did you ever watch Adolescence that was on the telly?
I did not, Carrie, and I'll tell you for why. Because I love Stephen Graham. I think he's brilliant. And I read about it and I thought, this is amazing. But I think I am too sensitive and I would be depressed by it. I also, because I live on my own, I get really worried about watching anything to do with anything nasty. I don't watch anything.
I mean, part of that was about social media bullying.
No, I know it was, and that's why I didn't watch it, which is very, again, like I put my head under a rock.
Put you back in the bubble.
Yeah. But then, you see, I will go to bed on my own after watching something like that and not sleep. And I will lie there and think of every single way this is going to affect my children until I send myself fucking mad, until I've got to go and get some sleeping tablets.
I don't think of it that badly, but yeah. I see what you mean.
It's not. I know it's not the answer, but also I don't have to put myself through that. I'm aware that things like this happen.
I think there's a lot more awareness about bullying on social media, accepting people for who they are, not making comments about the way people look, letting people be who they want to be. And I am totally on board with all that.
There's more acceptance, but it still happens.
But yet it's still happening. So we're not quite there, are we?
No, we're a way off.
So the long and short of it is for me that, death by social media is a real thing and it's fucking tragic.
It's really, really sad.
I think it has its place. I think it needs to be moderated better. I think that we all need to do better at being better people.
Sorry, I know you're coming to a close then. Is there any way of... Has anyone done any data capture on how many people between the age of, say, 12 and 25 have ended their own lives, not on a live stream, but as a result of cyberbullying or online bullying, whatever, changing...
There will be facts and figures out there, but also it's very difficult to prove that that's the reason.
Yeah.
So, yes, it will play a factor, and that is what the death by social media talks about, it being a factor in somebody's...
Because we're a decade in, aren't we, to the normal use of smartphones, iPhone, whatever. And I know that there's been data capture around that because it's in the book, again. It's in the How to Break Up With Your Phone, about how mental health, so they're not data capturing deaths, they're data capturing how young people's mental health has been affected in the last 10 years since the emergence of the smartphone.
Right.
It's a direct correlation.
And is that accessibility, do you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is the answer? Can we surmise? Can we finish with an answer?
There isn't one.
You can't. I've got a friend, Sarah. She is part of something called Smartphone Free Childhood.
Yeah.
That is a movement. She goes into schools and gives talks about it, and it's discouraging smartphone use. I don't know the ins and outs of all of it, but, she's quite passionate about it. So her children, for example, have phones which are very limited as to what they can do, but they can still message.
And call if they need to. Yeah.
But then, if you do this to your children, you also risk alienating them and them hating you for it. Is that, that's less of a
What
risk.
is the answer?
What is the answer?
Surely we should just be investing more in making sure our children feel good about themselves and understanding.
I'm feeling like a cash reward system might work.
Maybe.
For every year, my children will not have social media. I'll have to reward them with a heavy cash.
Yeah,
reward,
there will come a point where
compensation.
the money won't matter.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, so I think it has its place. Online services are great for some people.
Yep, absolutely.
For our young people, Winston's Wish, they've got an online
that's an
texting
amazing
service.
service.
Amazing. If you're in that place when you need it. Like I said, the New Normal do. A lot of them do. A lot of them have online services now that you can, even like online chat, you can get in and chat immediately to somebody if you're in crisis.
Which is amazing.
Fantastic.
What a resource.
But also, social media does have its downsides.
It's the poison and the remedy, online
Yeah.
presence.
It is.
What's the answer?
You tell
Answers
us.
on a postcard, please. Thank you for listening. It's been an interesting episode. Maybe one will follow up. Maybe we'll get a bit more data, a few more stats maybe, I don't know. And maybe let's try and find a guest.
Yeah.
Let's have a guest.
Social media person.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Until next time.
We're dying to talk to you. Thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in to It's a Death Sentence. Please keep listening to our weekly episodes.
And if you like our show, please like, share and subscribe.
We are dying to talk to you.